All right, so I think you all know by now that eTrailer is my official channel sponsor, and one of the things I love about eTrailer is they carry all the things that you're looking for, like your LED lights, your backup cameras, replacement parts all over your RV. Shoot, they even carry RV awnings, solar panels, roof vents, landing gear, auto leveling systems, leaf springs, axles, hubs, brakes, everything you could imagine, both for your RV as well as your tow vehicle. But they also carry things that are a little bit more difficult to find, such as, your gas connections, all the gas stuff. I told you guys on the last trip we took the Brookstone out on, we found we had a gas leak. And that gas leak, really caused it to start concerning us. So I basically disconnected and removed the entire front gas system, the crossover line, all of that. And I reached out to eTrailer. I said, this is the problem I'm having. And they pointed me exactly to the part I needed. And they had the exact part in stock. They shipped it out to me, and I'll be able to do this repair now. So again, if you're experiencing problems with your RV and you don't really know where to turn, you could either go find the part yourself if you're confident that you can do that, or you can give them a call and they will diagnose the problem. They will talk to you about it. They will try to figure out exactly what you need to install in your RV as a replacement part. And in many cases, an upgrade to whatever you originally had in there. So yeah, big shout out to my channel sponsor, eTrailer.com, that carries pretty much everything you would ever need when it comes time to fix your RV. Let's kick the video off though. So to quickly show you how this regulator and switchover valve works, this is essentially how your propane goes into the switchover valve. You have two propane tanks right here. One would go in right here, one would go in right here. Sometimes this is mounted between the two tanks up front on your A-frame if you have a travel trailer. If you have a fifth wheel, this is probably bolted somewhere to your frame near one of your propane tanks. Generally, I would guess it's going to be on the driver's side. That's where it is on our fifth wheel. And in most cases, you're going to have this, which is going to be a 3/8 inch threaded version as well as a flared version right here. And this will tighten in here, and you're going to want to use some of this pipe thread sealant designed for gas. And we will tighten this in here with some of the thread sealant on this side. This side will be your flared opening. And your flared opening is specifically designed to be tightened up to, without any type of thread sealant, your flared connection that leads to your RV. So in the case of our RV, we have this little diverter. So it actually has two outputs on it. This right here, this would actually thread into the bottom here. And then you have two of these. The reason why there's two is because one's going to go out to our own-end generator and one will go out to the rest of the RV. If you don't have a generator on your RV, you may not have two. You might only have one output, and that one output would usually just be directly off the bottom here, and this would go out to the propane system for your RV, such as if you have a propane electric refrigerator, if you have a propane water heater, if you have a propane furnace, your stove, all of that stuff would be fed out of this one line coming off the bottom. So propane in from your tanks. This right here is your switchover valve, so this points to the tank that it's currently pulling propane from. If you put it down in the center, it means that both of them are feeding the system. And if you put it on one side, it will go from that one specific tank, and then it will automatically switch over to the other tank whenever the tank that it's pointed to is empty. And you'll actually see up here where it will give you an indication that the tank it's pointed to is empty, and it's pulling from the opposite tank. So this is what we'll be putting in. The mounting bracket's a little different than the one we removed, but the good thing is the bolt pattern here on the bottom that it attaches to is pretty universal, so I should be able to remove the mounting bracket whenever I install it. But right now, I'm going to put some pipe sealant on here. I will thread this in right here, nice and tight. And you're going to want to make sure this connection's pretty tight. On these, you're going to make sure these connections are tight. I'm also going to use the same thread sealant right here for that one as well as that one. And then whenever you do your flared fittings right here, you typically want to tighten them by hand and then go like another quarter to half turn until they're really, really snug. You don't want to go too tight, or you can actually split the flared portion that actually attaches to that, and that's not good. You'll have a leak. So very, very interesting upgrade. A lot of people don't really want to mess with the gas side of it. You can always call a plumber and they can come out and do it as well. Sometimes even HVAC techs can do it because they deal with flared fittings all the time, but we're going to get this installed. Okay, so we have this one tightened down really, really well. We're going to do the same for these flared fittings that go on the sides. Okay, so this is what it should look like. We have our diverter valve right here. We have our two ends in place with the flared fitting sticking out. We just need to replace the mounting bracket right here. This will go to the passenger side propane can, and then I have the other pass-through already ready to go in there and be connected there, and that's another flared fitting. Here's the old switchover valve. Again, the screw holes should come pretty dang close to lining up. Okay, so this is going to mount right there, same spot that it was. This will hook up to the passenger tank. And these are going to be my two flared fittings. So this goes to the own-in generator. That'll mount right here. And that is a flared fitting. And then this bottom line will tie in right here. And that is also a flared fitting. So these are clean. I actually cleaned them up this morning in preparation for this. This one will tighten like that. And this one will tighten up like this. There we go. And these are not tight yet, so just keep that in mind. And that'll go up here like that. The way I usually tighten these down, I hand tighten them. It's a smooth feel, and you can actually feel as it's tightening. That one's tight. And I put one around the edge of the fitting. One right here. I think we're tight. Well, that one got stripped out. It's one of the originals. So I'm going to try to replace that with something a little bit more robust. Okay, we have that in place now. And I just need to connect this propane line right here, another flared fitting. This comes through from the other side to this pipe that they put up here for you. It's actually really convenient for servicing. I'm just gonna tighten that on right there. And same deal. Okay, so we have both propane tanks back in place. You can see the pass-through hose right here with the regulator. The tank is currently off, but I'm going to turn this tank on now. I could hear the gas filling the line. Okay, we are back on the driver's side. This is currently in place. Smelling for any fuel. Can't smell any. Let's open up this one as well. Okay, so I have this nifty little combustible gas detector, right? Basically, it's a sniffer, and it sniffs for gas. I'm just going to turn it on. It'll take a little bit to warm up. And then if it detects any gas or sniffs any, these lights will start to go up. Gotta wait till that light turns off right there. All right, there we go. I'm gonna check all my connections. Again, this thing will start going crazy if it detects any gas at all. See that? So it's detecting a little bit of a leak right there at the actual input to the tank. Let's turn that off real quick. You know, it's not out of the question that you have a tank that doesn't have a good seal either, so this is always an area that you should check. Actually, gotta have it warm up again. Okay, so it looks like we have a gas leak at the actual valve on the propane tank itself. Yep, it's right there. Now what I'm going to do to verify that is I'll turn the gas off, open up the valve to purge the tank, put it back on. Okay. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Let's look at the other side. Okay, we're here on the other side now. Nothing over here. Okay, let's go back over. Okay, so we got another tank. We're going to check this one now. First of all, let's see what this one says with nothing on it. Okay. Very good. Okay, so we have a new tank installed. Valve opened up. And it looks like we're good. So if the old QG 5500 LP for liquefied petroleum starts up, we should be in pretty good shape. So that's a success. We'll also check again for any type of gas leaks with this one more time with the generator running. Again, starting it up, waiting for the warm-up light to turn off. Looks like we're good. Problem solved. That really wasn't that difficult. I haven't actually had to replace one of these before, so this is kind of a first time for me. That's why I was a little bit more detailed about how I did it all after doing all the research. I've used flared fittings before. I've used gas fittings before. I've used sealant before when I had to do a repair on a fireplace, a gas fireplace, so I'm familiar with all the connections. It's just, for me, this is the first time I've had to do this type of replacement completely in an RV. When I added the gas stop in here at one point, which wasn't effective for this because it did not detect a really slow leak. Actually, I take that back. It did detect a very, very slow leak, but it wasn't enough to actually trigger the system to stop the gas flow. You basically just saw the needle on the gauge slowly going back, which indicated there was a gas leak. But have that in place. Very, very cool. Again, my channel sponsor, eTrailer.com, carries all of this stuff. And if you need to be able to swap stuff out on your RV, it's always good to have a resource. Guys, I'll throw a link to some of this stuff in the video description in case you're dealing with something similar. It's always nice to have a couple spare 30-pound propane cans on hand. We're going to wrap this one up, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.